All right, YouTube, I'm back with another trainer review. So I am an NLP coach. I am also an NLP trainer. I certify other students to become the best possible coaches in the world that they can be to make the greatest impact. And today I'm going to be reviewing a video from Tony that sent me. There's two of my students here that are just crushing it, just practicing with each other. This is extremely rare for coaches to have something like this opportunity. And again, we want to share with you, with YouTube, so you can learn and benefit from it too. Now, this is Tony's first video that I'm going to be reviewing. So depending, usually I go a little bit lighter if somebody's the first time, and the more they coach, I give more and more and more details. But let me just see. I haven't watched the video. It's going to be a live reaction. And I'm going to give Tony tweaks, upgrades to help him become a better coach, to help him stretch too as well. So he sent it to me. I have no idea what he's going to do. He's going to practice a technique, and I'm just going to call it like I see it. And I'm going to use my intuition to see if I should give it more or not. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay. All right, Haas. So a positive mental attitude for dissolving an emotional charge is once you've learned the lesson, you no longer need the teacher. And so I'm just going to guide you through dissolving an emotional charge. And sometimes with the emotional charge, it can be dissolved in a matter of 7 minutes, up to 20 minutes, or multiple sessions of this. Okay.
All right, so we're dissolving an emotional charge technique. This is a technique that I created. It's exclusively part of our spiritual NLP training. And Tony's going to give it a go and probably do super awesome, super well. And he's doing a really good job of pre-framing it. And a couple things I noticed right away. So Tony's doing a really good job of pre-framing. It could take 7 minutes, could take 21, could take multiple sessions. We're going to find out. I love that. I love those open-ended, let's find out. And what I know about Tony, he's more kinesthetic, and so is more Haas. So it's going to be really, really good. Tony is just kind of in my experience of Tony, he's a laid back, kind of a chill guy, California dude. And at the same time, there's going to be people that as he starts to grow his business and practice and work with more people, he's going to be talking to people that might be a little bit more uptight, people that are a little bit more faster. So that's going to be nothing I'm seeing right now. This is just planting a seed in the future for Tony, that to practice the ranges of speed, of locus, a lot of things that we go over in the training. So it's off to a great start.
So if you want to get comfortable, you can leave your eyes open or closed, whatever's most comfortable for you.
Okay. I'll close them. I feel better when I close them.
Okay. And I'm just going to lead you through a couple breathing techniques, and we'll move into dissolving the emotional charge. So right now, if you can take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you breathe into your heart, and then breathe out through your mouth.
Tony's doing a great job of embodying.
And as you focus on your breath,
he's doing a great job of embodying what he's saying. He's kinesthetic, which means he is more of a feeler. He's more of a doer, as opposed to more visual or more auditory. Of course, if we have ears and eyes and hands and a body, we can do everything, but we also have a dominant way of communicating. So Tony's doing a really good job of leading Haas deep within himself, which is really, really, really awesome. And he's associating instead of disassociating. What do I mean by that? Well, you can associate to the morphogenic energy field that we teach, to the energy that he wanted to, the tone that he wanted to set. So he wanted to do a really great job. He wanted to provide a lot of great transformation. But also there's the internal representations. So there's the mental picture, so we can associate to things or disassociate to things. There's a time and place to do both. At this part, at the beginning right now, he is associating to it, and he's going really deep within himself, which is allowing Haas to go really deep within himself. So awesome job, Tony. I love what I'm seeing so far.
I want you to start being aware of is the length of your breath. If you breathe in for 4 seconds or greater, you'll move from the survival state into more of a relaxing state, and you'll be more in tune with this emotional feeling. So without awareness, nothing is possible. Within awareness, everything is possible. And I understand that you are feeling some intense emotions right now. And I'm wondering if you have an awareness around this intense emotion that is actually trying to communicate to you on a much deeper level than you are currently aware of right now. You see, some problems can't be easily solved just by thinking about how to solve them, while other problems require you to pay more attention and they will need a technique or two to help solve or release them from being a problem in the first place.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop Tony here, and here's why I'm going to stop Tony. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job of what he knows at what level he's at. And I don't see a lot at the level he's at, if this makes sort of sense, to tweak. So I can only give him more to the next level, which I know he would really appreciate. So he's doing a great job. I can't really say too much at the level he's at, but to get to the next level, here's what I would say. So without knowing it, he's doing a pretty good job of utilizing, which is, I understand why, because it's deeply integrated within the training, is using hypnotherapy. Now, I know he doesn't know hypnotherapy, and I know that once he receives the hypnotherapy training that we give, it's going to just be game changer. But so without that being said, or without that happening, with that being said, here's what I would say, Tony. So you're doing a great job of going inside yourself and going deep within yourself. That's great. Awesome. Now, one thing you don't know, I guess, within hypnotherapy and communication, there's something called a U trance. Think of like the letter U. So you're going to start off really high or in a normal speaking voice, but then as you go a little bit deeper, the locus and the tone will change, but also the speed is going to change a little bit. And then at the end, as you come all the way back up, the speed and then the locus is going to come right back up to where we were talking about before. So that was a mini U-trance. And if you're watching this video, you went through a nice little U-trance, which is, it's super nice and easy. So my only suggestion at this point would be to not only receive the hypnotherapy training, but to, when you go deeper with somebody, stretch out your words. I think of words like marshmallows. What are marshmallows? If you think take a couple of marshmallows and you put them together, it's just kind of taking words and going really fast and squishing them together, and people can't really listen to you really well. It's just too fast. Or Charleston Chew. It's just candy. When I was a kid, I'm sure they still sell it, but it's like, I don't know, like a long rectangle shape, and you can take it and you can stretch it out. You can even, I think you can even stretch it as far as your arms go, and it will still be connected. So Charleston Chew. So when you go deeper, just stretch out the words. A little bit more space in between the words. That's what I recommend. Again, this is advanced. This is higher than his level of training, but he is not an everyday average student. He is an exceptional student, and he is going places, and I'm going to help him get there as efficiently as possible. He's got a lot of people to help in this life, in this world, and that's definitely going to help. So awesome job, Tony.
Now, there are those problems that are outliers because they don't seem to fit into the traditional solutions that solve most of your other problems, and they demand you to give them your full attention and pay full attention to them because of the important messages they carry at the center of them. The problems I am talking about, of course, are called emotional charges. They come directly from the spiritual world where no physical or psychological solutions will do. Each and every emotional charge is your body's check engine light, the emotional check engine light, because something buried deep within you is ready and asking to come up to the surface because it needs your support and attention.
Again, I'm just going to share. Well, Haas is doing an amazing job. He's going really deep. Why? because he's working on himself quite a bit every day, all day, which is awesome. He's getting better every day. He is really receptive and rapport with himself. Tony's doing a really great job of maintaining rapport with Haas, which is allowing him to facilitate this deeper transformation. And that's where again, another way like NLP and hypnotherapy. Let me explain it in a different way. Conscious mind, unconscious mind. So with the hypnotherapy, it's what the name of it is, but it's basically once you speak to the unconscious mind and understand beamers, the body language is more, you can actually add pauses in there. You can actually calibrate to people's beamers at a different level with deeper level training. So people are going to be watching this right now. You're going to be watching this, and you're going to probably go into a nice calm state of relaxation, which is also known as trance, which is peripheral awareness. Peripheral vision is the first step of trance. It's the doorway into the unconscious mind. It's going from the air underneath the ocean, right underneath the surface. And there's a whole other world to navigate within there, which is amazing. It's amazing. So it's going to be a very hypnotic video, I can tell, which is awesome. People are going to watch this time after time again and go into a nice state. And that's just watching by observing, because consciousness is contagious. People can watch a transformation with this transformational training and have some transformation themselves. This is what's so great. That's why I love doing this. I'm awesome. I'm super excited that Tony's out there doing it and Haas is out there doing it. So let's keep going.
And every emotional charge comes from the past. To be very specific, they come from an unexperienced experience. Something that you went through in your past that neither you nor the people around you did not have the ability to help you fully experience so you can move forward. Because of the inability to fully experience this experience, a smaller part of you got separated from the rest of you, and it is now stuck in the past. Every once in a while, sending you emotional flares to get someone's attention so that it can be rescued from the past and be brought back into reintegration. The problem is, for most people, that the younger you who doesn't know how to receive help, and that is sending the emotional flare, is sending it to the current you who doesn't know how to recognize what it is and what to do about it. Which leads us to this moment, because your unconscious mind decided to team up together so you can finally learn how to receive the internal hidden messages and rescue this abandoned part and help it get its needs met once and for all. So with that being said, we now recognize, in fact, there's an emotional charge. So let's move on to the next step to uncover its deeply rooted message and dissolve the burning pressure sensation once and for all.
Now, here's what I don't know, right? We started the video at the beginning of the video. I don't know what pre-setup Tony did before this session. I don't know what his intention is, morphogenic energy field. I do know he said the positive mental mindset, which was great, which is once you receive the lesson, you no longer need the teacher, which is brilliant. He pre-framed that. But what I don't know is I wrote this script for this technique where foresight or hindsight, I guess that might be the best words, meaning it's so well versed, the technique actually, where you could read it and the unconscious mind, it will bring up within the words intrinsically an upgrade that needs to happen. So I feel like that might be what's happening here. But other techniques, because as we get into coaching, right, this is more for practicing, because Tony is practicing. And that's why I wrote it that way. But as we get into coaching, the practice client or paid client will give you the problem ahead of time. And then that just gives us clues to what to do, right? So I'm not sure. My presupposition, I would presume that Tony is just practice. So we're meeting, we're practicing this technique, and we're going to see what comes up with it. And I'll get the information after that, after I push pause again or push play. But that's what I'm trying to share is that's great about the techniques is we can actually read them and then come elicit an issue to upgrade, a problem, a limitation, an outdated part of the map, or we could have it ahead of time and then go with that. So that's let's find out.
Haas, a tight body blocks your ability to receive. A relaxed body prepares your body to receive. Go ahead and sit as comfortably as you can by bringing gentle awareness to your body and go from top down. We're going to relax the top of your head, consciously relaxing your eyebrows and the muscles surrounding your eyes.
Nice speed.
Releasing and loosening your jaw. And once you release your tongue, you can now notice how the rest of your body wants to follow suit. Like your shoulders have begun to decompress and your rib cage can automatically begin to expand.
The only thing for here, Tony is just, he's starting off super, super awesome. He's in a very relaxed state. Everything is going great. The only thing is I would just make sure, so what I would want to check in with Tony is like relax the top of your head. This is where you would pace and lead internally, if this makes sort of sense. So if like, I'll do this right now, with you. So I want you to go ahead and just relax the top of your head. So whatever my head tension was, even if it was relaxed, I'm relaxing it even more. And it kind of feels nice and tingly, which is really good. Relax the muscles around my eyes. So I'm consciously relaxing the muscles around my eyes. And then go ahead and just loosen your jaw. Did you see? If you watch it back, you can rewind it, but loosen your jaw. At the end of it, say like jaw, I loosen it. And go ahead and relax your tongue. Even though I'm speaking, I can relax my tongue in between my words. Now, you don't have to do the whole thing. Like, you don't have to do it for the whole time, but when you say that, you want to pace and lead. And then watch where my shoulders, these are just naturally the height of my shoulders, but go ahead and just drop your shoulders down. So for me, I don't even care how high they were. I can always drop it a millimeter, at least, lower. But it is true, the higher our shoulders are, it turns off our heart center. It's like a drawbridge, right? Higher shoulders, if you think my hand is the drawbridge to the heart center, and you lower it, it's like that, right? It's like a flower kind of closing and opening. But the higher the shoulders are, the more the heart center shuts off. And actually, people hold their breath. And if you hold your breath, your heart center is shut off, which means you can't feel anything, which means you're not in your heart, you're in your head. So always drop it down when you're pacing and leading, which is really, really great. Kind of a side note, when people give hugs, a lot of times they raise their shoulders because they're unconsciously afraid to feel not only like really when they get close to close, usually heart to heart. That's the whole point of having a hug. Actually, there's a technical way of actually doing a hug, which is dropping your shoulders, actually heart to heart, and then breathing, like just being, which is it's a feminine energy thing. It's a masculine thing to hug, which is doing. Masculine doesn't equal male, feminine doesn't equal female. Check their training to get the full report of the characteristics of each, but action is a masculine thing, characteristic. Feminine is feeling. So that's why we want to do balance. We have each of these energies that we want to develop and balance for both. But a lot of people, I notice over the years, when they hug, they raise their shoulders and hold their breath, which defeats the purpose of a hug. It's not just a physical thing. It's actually an emotional thing. It's actually an energetic. It's actually a mental thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's what it's meant to be. So when people get uncomfortable, they raise their shoulders because they don't want to feel. They're trying to, it's protection, which is a really, really higher level of calibration. So if a client, which Haas is not doing, is raising up, that's some sort of rapport that there's unconscious uncomfortability. You can address it and you're going to get the beamers, the feedback. If Tony is raising his shoulders, which he's not, they look pretty low, but I think he could even drop a millimeter. It's just wherever you're at, even more. Wherever you're relaxed, even more relaxed. So that really helps. At his level, do I have anything to critique? No. If he wants to get to the next level and become even more impactful, which I know he does, and I know he's shaking his head now, probably smiling, appreciating this, watching this, then here's the next level, even go a little bit deeper. That's it. Okay.
Relaxing your stomach, and lower back, releasing any muscle tension in your thighs, front and back, calves and your shins, and every one of your fingers and toes.
I'm going to get a little more technical. So I'm going to get a little more technical. So if I'm relaxing my top of my head, I'm still focusing. I'm feeling my top of my head and I'm focusing on my client. I'm holding space for the client. If I'm relaxing my tongue, I'm feeling my tongue relax, but I'm focusing on your tongue. I want you to understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to pull back now, right? I'm watching this video. You're probably feeling really good. The energy surrounding you. This is great. I'm going to pull back my energy right now. This is something I rarely do. I always tell people when I do it because people don't like it. You're watching this video. You're probably having these really good feelings. I'm going to pull back and you're going to be like, Jeremiah, don't do that. But I'm going to share with you what that is. So I'm going to pull back my energy now. Even though we're on this video, my energy is 100% completely pulled into the room. You might be feeling a little bit of colder, less rapport, less connected to yourself, to me, to the video, because I pulled my energy back consciously. Why am I doing this? Well, the teaching point is, as a coach, if I'm focusing on my phone, on my knee, on my thoughts, on myself, on what I'm going to say next, it's breaking rapport. And so I'm going to now put my energy back as a sign of an apology, because a lot of people, again, students and clients, they don't like it. But I tell people ahead of time, so they're just like, that's weird. I've even done this with Tony and Haas, and in a class, in a practicum, they're like, well, I don't like it. That's so weird. I feel so different. But that's okay. If I can pull it back, I can bring it forward. Now, I can keep my energy surrounded you watching this right now, and I can also focus on you. I can be aware of my jaw dropping, but still focus, like keep your jaw and mind at the same time. This is a skill set. This is a higher up level skill set that requires development. Is to focus on, when's the last time you focused on two jaws at the same time? Maybe never. When's the last time you focused on your jaw and somebody else's jaw? When's the last time you focused on dropping your shoulders and pacing and leading, allowing the person you're talking to drop their shoulders? When is the last time you consciously focused on going to a positive, excited, emotional state because you wanted to pace and lead somebody else get into a positive emotional state? Or if somebody's feeling really sad, bring in your resources because you develop your level of sadness and you bring the divine presence with sadness, and you can match and surround the divine presence with their level of sadness. Or you want to go really, really deep. So going really deep within yourself allows somebody to go deep within themselves. But if you're not connected, if there's not rapport, if you're not focusing on them, it's not going to happen. You're leading by going inside. Again, I guess I'm saying hypnotherapy heavy, but all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You can't hypnotize people. You can't do this. You can only suggest. It's volunteer. It's leading a person deep within themselves. This is what's kind of happening right now. And people can do it without knowing, so to speak. But this whole training it's intrinsically, NLP comes from Milton Erickson, Virginia Satir, Fritz Perls. Milton Erickson was a psychologist and psychotherapist that pioneered basically practical hypnotherapy in the mainstream, conversational hypnosis. So it's just really talking to the unconscious mind and being relaxed and leading a person, just the listener, into a relaxed state. It's that simple, even though it's very technical. So that's all. At the current level, no feedback. Great job, bravo, for real. At the next level or a few levels up, here's some tweaks to cause you to stretch, to be able to help you be more efficient. The higher level of training you have, the easier it is to coach. The more repetitions that you have, the easier it is to coach. All right.
That you have a slightly increased sense of awareness circulating throughout your body right now. A shallow breath holds in carbon dioxide, which fuels the monkey mind. A deep breath pulls in oxygen.
Great job.
Which fuels your heart center. There is a golden rule with the human breath that when you breathe at a rate of less than 3 seconds, your mind becomes more active or overactive in many cases. But when you breathe at a rate of at least 4 seconds or greater, for 7 minutes or longer, It will supercharge your bloodstream, oxygenate your brain, and quiet down your mind. You can now begin to increase your breath to at least 4 seconds in, 2, 3, 4, and 4 seconds out. 2, 3, 4, on a continuous basis. Focus all of your attention on what is happening inside your heart center right now.
Amazing job.
Energy flows where your attention goes, and since when we don't pay attention, we pay with pain. And pain is our unconscious mind's way of telling us to pay attention to what is most important. So go ahead and physically place both of your hands on the center of your chest, your heart center, and focus your awareness 3 to 5 inches behind your hands, in between your ribs, inside of the sensation of the emotional charge. Once you've learned the lesson, you no longer need the teacher. I would now like you to just be with the what is, without trying to change it. You can continue to deeply and continuously inhale into the center of your chest, the center of the emotional charge.
This is nice. I'm starting to do it too, Tony.
And deeply and continuously exhale into the center of your chest, the center of the emotional charge. While fully experiencing whatever sensation is there without trying to judge it, resist it, or even change it. Just be, just let it be as you just be with it. Move past the story, move beyond the emotional label of what you are feeling, and go directly into the sensation and allow it to burn off permanently.
Great job closing your eyes, Tony. Good job having your hands on your heart. You're going a lot deeper now, which allows Haas to go deeper, which allows whoever's watching this to go deeper. And make sure at this time you're doing your 4 seconds of deep breathing, counting to yourself plus holding your space. Like, Tony, you're doing a great job of holding space for you
Feel the emotional charge.
and still focusing on Haas.
Feel it burning and dissolving. You're safe and you're protected.
Very nice. This is where you ask your divine presence to surround you, surround your person you're working with. Those 2 things. Surround you, surround them, go in between you, go inside of you, go inside of them. 5 levels deep of consciousness. Around you, around them. You can start with them first, around them, around you, it doesn't matter. In between you and them, within them, inside of them, and inside of you. 5 levels deep of the divine presence. People don't realize God is technical in consciousness. It's conscious and technical and practical. It's not haphazard. There's levels and layers, infinite levels and layers and deep of consciousness of the divine presence. As long as there's a breath in your body, there's another lesson to be learned, another level to reach, to level up.
While feeling that emotional charge, if you need to, you can always go back to your breath.
Thoughts just swallowed.
Deep breathing in to your...
This is what, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see this because your eyes are closed. Nothing wrong with that. At the NLP level, well, our NLP is way different than whatever else is out there. But at the NLP level, we're just facilitating and helping people go to the unconscious mind. With the hypnotherapy level, we're actually navigating the unconscious mind a lot more consciously. But Haas just swallowed, which is the unconscious mind signaling breaths, swallows, twitches. Like when I say breath, deep breaths, like abnormal breathing. If someone's breathing and it's just like a normal rate like this, and then, you know what I mean? Abnormal meaning not like hyperventilating rapid, but if they're normally doing this and it's out of the ordinary. Extraordinary breathing, which is different than the rest of the breaths, that's a signal. Like I said, it could be a twitch, could be a head nod, could be squinting even if the eyes are shut, and a yawn. That's another thing too, but swallow. It's the unconscious mind communicating. So this is what's so beautiful about this and so beautiful about beamers, behavioral manifestations of internal representations within body language, tells, signals the unconscious mind's giving. But it gets more and more subtle. That's why hypnotherapy is necessary, because you can read the person's body language. English is verbal. Body language is nonverbal. And it gets more subtle and subtle and subtle the deeper somebody goes.
Your heart center. And deep exhaling into your heart center. While feeling the emotional charge.
This is very powerful and very needed in the world right now, especially for men. Another swallow, which communicates he is feeling. And he is acknowledging.
And knowing your higher self is surrounding you. Is guiding you.
Now, if Tony wasn't comfortable within himself and his ego was more present, it's not. But if it was, and it was saying, go on with the show, come on, let's hurry up, then I noticed he took his hat off, because I bet you he's getting warm because the energy's moving. But if the ego is present, like, come on, let's hurry up, it does a disservice. That is not coming up at all. Tony's Neo's true self is front and center, and it's powered by divine grace right now.
And feel that emotional charge burn off and dissolve once and for all.
If that's the intention, to dissolve once and for all. What he's connecting is dissolving permanently. But did this emotional charge completely? Okay, so there's more signaling. Big adjustments for Haas.
So if you would like, you can now thank your higher self for doing its very best to ask you for help.
Licking the lips. It's another thing, another signal.
You can ask both your unconscious mind and your conscious mind to store the lessons and learnings from this teacher so that you can move forward as an even more whole version of yourself.
A lot more movement from Haas for his mouth area, for his hands.
And you can thank your higher self for facilitating this healing and transformation just by simply being with the sensations.
I'm going to pause that for a second. It sounded like there was an echo, right? Think your higher self, higher self. That was like an audio glitch. And that's going to happen in coaching. If you're going to coach full time, if you're going to work with thousands of people, well, let's just say hundreds, start with hundreds. There's going to be technological issues. There's going to be glitches. There's going to be hiccups, and it's really about how you flow. So I noticed that it happened, but I noticed that Tony didn't break rapport, even if it echo. Here's the worst case scenario. You might have to stop the recording, keep him in there, hold space. Let's listen to the worst case scenario. It echoes and echoes. It's not going away. I would say go ahead, but I would pause. Go ahead, and stay relaxed for the next few minutes to yourself quietly inside now. I would still hold space. I could end the call. I'm still holding space. I haven't left. I'm still holding the space for Haas. Redial it back up. I might have to restart my computer. I've done all this before. But I never not hold space. I always hold space. And then you come back, chances are their either eyes are still closed or maybe their eyes are open. But they're still there. They're still holding space. They're still deep. So that'd be the worst case scenario. This was a little blip. And Tony responded really well. But I'm just letting you know, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. And there's no such thing as perfect coaching. There is pivoting, seamlessly pivoting, divine flow, God flow, being connected, being in peripheral awareness, rapport with yourself and rapport with your client. So awesome job. It's a little one. There's going to be more in the future, and just work with it, flow with it, use it.
Without trying to change them. So whenever you are ready, you can breathe at a normal rate. Gently begin moving your fingers and your toes while taking all the time you need. You can gently open your eyes, feeling refreshed, awake, and more aware.
Really great bringing him back.
Ooh.
Wow.
That was amazing, man.
Tony's expressing gratitude to the divine.
How do you feel?
It was great.
I feel a lot more aware of what's inside. And it was amazing because in the middle beginning, I noticed I'm starting to lose awareness of my orientation in space, and I was like, cool,
Going
that's good.
deep.
I submitted. That rarely happens to me in meditation.
I'll give you a little bit of feedback. It really happens to him in meditation. I get it. This is different when it's guided. And we could call it very easily guided meditation if we wanted to, but no problem with that. It was. More technically, it was hypnosis. And what is hypnosis? It's just working with the unconscious mind. It's not this, it's a mystical thing. It's not a mysterious thing. It's very natural. Again, anytime a person's getting a massage, they go into a trance. Driving a car, they go into a trance. What happened, there's levels of depth within trance. We actually go through it step by step, very systematically within our hypnotherapy training. And there's levels where, just to to share where you, as the experiencer, as the one listening, the participant, the great hypnotic subject is listening, is, you start to like lose, so maybe you close your eyes so then you don't see, right? But then you'll start to like lose sounds. And what I mean by losing sounds, it's not like you go deaf, but it's just you really get focused with certain things. But even if your eyes are open sometimes, there's something called somnambulism where you can actually be in really deep in trance and your eyes open. It's kind of like sleepwalking. People can be eyes open, but they're actually really deep. Well, that can happen with hypnosis, but things could black out. And I'll explain what that means. Things could white out or gray out where you're just watching, and then just things kind of go over. And it doesn't happen unless it's super safe. So what I mean by blackout, it doesn't mean like, oh my God, my eyes, I can't see. It doesn't work like that. If you come back up, you can see everything. But it's just your unconscious mind is distancing you, I wouldn't say turning off, but it's shifting your focus and awareness to more important things, which is really deeper, abstract, and at the unconscious level. And you're going to have different experiences like that. So Haas rarely has this experience when he's meditating by himself, but he'll have it a lot more working with Tony. Especially the more repetitions Tony gets and the higher level training Tony gets, can happen easier and almost all the time. Because of the consciousness intention that's put into this training that I wrote within the script that I brought it to within the training that I help with my coaches. It's rapid facilitated change work in a most efficient way, divinely guided. So that's what's happening as Haas went so deep, some of the unconscious mind senses turned off to focus on other ones. That's really what it is. If you go outside and something's really, really important, you're in the woods and you're trying to listen far away, are you really looking? Or are you actually listening? Do you move your ear closer towards the area you want to listen to? Absolutely. Your eyes open? Yeah, but you're not listening. I'm sorry, you're not looking. You're listening. Listening and hearing are two different things. Hearing is just sounds, but listening is with this, right? The eyes can see, but looking is with consciousness. Super, super. The body is so intelligent. This is so great. So I'm curious to hear what Haas has to say.
And it's a good place to be that vulnerable, to go that deep.
And safe.
So I enjoyed that part. And then when we started focusing on something that my inner child or my younger self, then things started to come up. So I started processing them kind of like one after the other. And also like timeline wise, as I got older, I started to process different things. And then towards the end of it, I started to process something that is more recent that has been like a hang up for me that it was refusing to be processed before the meditation, but I was able to process it towards the end. So that's huge freedom for me. Because a lot of times, like if you're not holding space for me, some things that want to be processed, like mercury, they'll slip away, or like a bar of soap.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to grab to them, but they're like elusive.
Mm-hmm.
But I went so deep, so calm, so relaxed that I was able to kind of like chop the head off one after the other.
I love that, man.
Smoothly. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah. That's the power of you, right? It takes vulnerability and it takes compassion. It takes courage. It takes acceptance. And it takes trusting not only in yourself, but your higher self, right?
Yeah.
You're the one.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Vulnerability, actually in the beginning, vulnerability came up to me. I was like, oh man, vulnerability is so difficult. But also, it is the way.
It is. Truly is. And now you can go back and maybe in the future when you feel like vulnerability is difficult, just remember this moment. Remember this point of time where you were able to move through it. and the value that you received at the end.
Future anchoring.
Yeah.
It could help.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, so that was it. And here's my review of it at the end. Tony asked him a little bit how is he feeling, what's going on, and Haas was externally processing, which is extremely important, which allowed him to bring everything really deep up to the conscious level, which helps it to really anchor and solidify. So his conscious mind and his unconscious mind can both use the information and the lessons and learnings that he received from the teacher. And Tony was just having a divine flow and flowing through and sharing some of the really key golden nuggets at the end, which is great. And he did a really great job future anchoring. So overall, it was an excellent score. It was, I couldn't say too many things really, which I was really over it the whole time of his level of training. I feel like he crushed it based off his level of training. If I were to say the next level of training, I would give a little, tweaks, which I did, which I know he would appreciate. And that's what we always do here at the Internal Awareness Coaching and Training is we take people at whatever level that they're at, but then we always stretch, we always give you more because we want you to do better every day. So amazing job, Tony. Amazing job, Haas. Again, we need more men. We need more women stepping up, real men. My definition of real man is a real man confronts everything all the time, always. My definition of a real woman confronts everything all the time, always. So we need more real men, real women stepping up, working on themselves, divinely guided, helping each other up, lifting each other up, just like this. So please send a lot of blessings for Tony and for Haas for doing this, because I understand that watching this, you're going to be in a better state and you're also going to learn. And if you want to get your video reviewed, definitely reach out, check out the link below, and our training system helps you become a full-time coach. You can have no training, or you can have some training, or you can be struggling, and we'll walk you through step by step to be able to do this to help people. We need more people like you now, more than any other time in the history of humanity. Humanity is going through such a critical shift, and it's going to be decided by the people who step up and do the most work, help each other. Either people are hurting each other or helping each other. You're watching this. I know you're a helper. I know it's a big part of your life's purpose and mission. So please give it a like. Please give it a subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up. Turn the notification bell on to watch more videos. And if you want to see more videos like this, just let us know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.